Okay, we're back. So this next video is going to be all about the lower body, and I'll try to be quick. So I mentioned that I would tell you about the shorter roller. So the only time, let me back up. The only time you'd be affected is when you're rolling onto your sides. So when we were in this place on the back and we were rolling to one side like this, and then we did our twist. The only thing you might have to do is lift the hips up and slide over on the small roller to pull the knee up, and that way you have more space on the other side. So when you get over there, you've got the space and you won't fall off the edge of your little roller. So just lifting the hips up, sliding it over, and then you have space to come over. So that's one way to adjust. So now let's get into the lower body. And one of the best places to start is just kind of sitting up on your haunch here. So finding this side of your hip, kind of this fleshy part here on the side, you just kind of start to get in there a little bit, just working in there and seeing what's off that side. You might have already noticed it if you were doing those twists and rolling onto one side of your hip. You might have already noticed this stuff over here. And so from here, we're just going to extend our leg out, shift so that we have our two hands down and one foot out in front. So we have our tripod, which will help keep a lot of pressure off of the IT band, because that's where we're going. So from the top of the hip all the way down to the knee, we have a lot of territory to cover, and it's going to build a lot of heat. It releases a lot of stuff, so you might start sweating. This is like so intense for most of us. Typically, as I get closer to the knee, there's more sensation. So really using your tripod support to gently massage the area without creating so much pain you never want to do this again, because it's, you know, if you do it every day for a couple weeks, you will have no pain whatsoever. And if you've had any knee pain in the past, it's probably because this IT band has been tight. So just sort of going over this area, I don't know, as long as you can stand at 5 minutes is ideal per IT band. That's where you'll get the most benefit. Once again, set a timer because it feels like an eternity, even though it's only 5 minutes. So working this one for 5 minutes. And then here's one trick. So you have, the IT band is pretty wide, so you have a little bit back and then you have a little bit forward, kind of toward the top of the quad. So kind of, you know, use the body to roll forward and back on that IT band. Once you get to the bottom of it, down by the knee, you're pretty much done. And then you can flip over so that this front leg becomes like a little frog leg, and your other leg, you're now right on top of the roller, right at the hip crease. So you could come down to the forearms if you'd like, right on the hip crease, and just sort of rest there. Or you can start working into the quadricep, so starting to roll forward and back. You could even move this knee, this little frog leg, but just working quadricep here. And we know we have 4 muscles in the quads, so inside, there's a groin inside, there's the top, kind of the middle, and then a little bit of an outer. So just noticing what you feel at the top of the hip, middle of the thigh, bottom by the knee, inside and outside. And then once you're done there, once you're done working that quadricep area, then you can move into the shin. Now this is kind of tough to get into first time, so don't feel like you're alone in this. But the easiest way to get into it is to have that knee outside here again, like a little frog leg, and this leg coming on top of it. So we're not going to be right on the bony shin part, we're going to be off to the side. And that way we can get on the fleshy part, like if you've ever had shin splints, it's that area there. And then you lay down on the leg, and from there you roll the fleshy part of the shin. And it's, if you've ever had shin splints or an ankle injury, this might be intense. So rolling here from the knee to the ankle, And you don't have to keep the body in any particular position. If you're feeling that massage on the outer part of the fleshy part of the shin, then you're doing it right. As I said in the beginning, there's no right way to do this stuff. It's more of just, okay, how can I feel this the best? And it definitely is like a hurt so good thing. Okay, so let's try the other leg. Left leg, sit up on the haunch, roll out the side of the hip a little bit, and then straighten the leg out, step the foot forward, got my tripod, and now I can roll this side out. So we just want to spend 5 minutes doing the IT band every day. I don't, but I should. And I do it about once a week because I'm lazy and it hurts. But we're all human. So just working that IT band. And then when you want to come into the quadricep, just kind of reset, take your little frog leg out to the side. And then here we are on the quadricep. You can be down on forearms and just roll this out. Inside, get the groin, top, and then outside. And then once you feel like you got the quad, then you can come to the outer shin. So once again, one knee outside, come on the shin bone, and then sit off to the side so that you're on the outer fleshy part, and then the whole torso weighs down, and you can choose how much weight you put on there just by lifting the torso off. So this is a little less intense. This is a little bit more. There's more weight down on there. So just, you could find a spot and just chill. You could keep moving and rolling. If you find a juicy spot, just get in there a little bit. All the way down to the ankle. Yeah. And then the favorite one is what we call Superman. And this one, you just come on to the tops of the legs and roll up and down. And bending the knees, it's a little bit more intense. And that's a really good way to get the legs mushed up. And so one of my favorite shapes to take after I mush up the hips and legs is one leg back. I have to sit up on a cushion so that I can get this leg back. So if you have a big pillow or something at home, sit up on that. One leg out and one leg pulled back like this. So I'm getting a good stretch in my quad, my IT band, and the tops of my shins where I just massaged. And I could stay up here if this is plenty, or I could start to lean back and take in more sensation here. Now, if you've got open hips, which I don't think you do, you could have both legs pulled back, but most of us, I have to have my hips really high if I do this. And you can come back with both legs, but I kind of like one leg. You could try it out, whatever works for you. And just sitting, leaning back, and just really focusing on reaching that knee forward and down, and lifting the heart up and back to create length from knee out the crown of the head. You might be able to lean back even further. And you don't spend too much time here. I would say 2 to 3 minutes at most, but set a timer and then come up and out of it. Re-straighten one leg and then take the other one back behind you, leaning back, 2 minutes maybe on this side. And then when you come up and out of it, you could try on another shape, a low lunge. And if you don't have blocks at your house, you might have books or something you could put your hands on. but one foot comes forward, the other leg is back, and you have enough distance between the legs that you feel a really good stretch on this thigh, and the heart is lifting forward, and you can just practice being up here like this, feeling the stretch. You might sit the hips back, lift the toes, half splits, and just feel the hamstring stretch. Really pulling this hip back, and pulling the heart forward to maximize on the stretch. And if you want more IT band, just point the toes to the ground and point the toes forward. Or keep the toes down, knee bent, and really big IT stretch. Toes down, big hamstring stretch, toes up. Pulling the hip back, heart forward. And then when you're ready, just switch feet. Take the other one forward. Low lunge. And then when you sit the hips back, toes down, as you pull left hip back, that'll get more of the IT band, the outer part of the leg. And if you lift the toes up, pull the hip back, heart to the toes, and you'll get more in the hamstring, back of the leg. So you can play with both and. So those are some really great starting places to just do some basic stuff. So that whole upper body rolling routine, as I said, 15 to 20 minutes. The lower body rolling routine, same, 15 to 20 minutes. You could kind of alternate or do a mixed bag of some of those.